It's neat. I was just watching a neat video about, like scapegoats, growing up a scapegoat, and truth tellers. I'm a truth teller, big time. And now I'm not popular because of this, okay? Now, it's not like, I'm not mean about it. Well, a little bit. It's not like I go up and say, oh, you're fat or you need to gain weight. Not that kind of truth telling or honesty. But just, how people walk around this fog and they're okay with it. They're okay with their denial, their self denial, and their cognitive dissonance. They're okay with that. I'm not. I'm not okay with that. But I see like injustice, and like ever since I was little, I see injustice. I'm like, and I'd call it out because part of me was curious, and I was like, I know different, and I wanted to point it out because I was like, I want to know first of all, I wanted to know if I was right, and I was. I was intuitively just in connection and intuitively often right. So here's this person, kid pointing at the emperor has no clothes. And, I get shut down often. Like, oh, just sit down and don't make waves, Oh, don't, because the people around you, they don't want to attract attention to themselves. So here I am, just bold and pew, and they're like, we don't want that attention next to us, So they're like, get away from me. And some people don't want their treasured illusions destroyed, and truth does that, right? Truth does that big time. So now that I'm an adult, I have more control of my faculties, of course. I'm my own entity. And people can't make me do a whole lot of much of anything anymore unless I break the law or something, right? Which I don't, right? And that's the thing, people don't like me. And it's like, I can understand if I was some big fucking asshole that gets arrested or burn down your house or horrible crimes. But I don't get in trouble. I just mind my own business, do my own thing. But people still can't like it, right? And that goes into a whole nother programming of our system that's done to us when we're young, okay? But let's go back. So now I'm an adult and I'm going to certain situations, and yeah, there's a lot of things I see it and I let it go. I'm like, ugh, it's annoying, but I let it go. But every once in a while, there's some things I stand up for. I was like, no, this is bullshit. I'm not gonna fucking roll over and take it no more at all. And there's a few things I'm stern about, and it doesn't make me popular, but they can't really tell me, no, I'm an adult now. And they can't make, and I was like, no, I was like, no, you can't do that to me, and I'm not going to, and it doesn't make sense, and all that stuff, right? Well, they don't like that. Too bad for them. They don't have to fucking like it. Now, like I said, I'm lonely because it's alone, not lonely. I'm alone often, and that's okay because I'd rather be by myself and healthy than sick with somebody else, right? That's the deal. But anywho, now check this out. So now I'm older. I still get the scapegoating a lot. It's a small town. I'm easily identified. People just throw it on me all the time, whatever. But the funny part is like truth telling. So some of these people, they try this stuff, right? And and then I'm like, have no problem telling the truth. And then they kind of tend to leave me alone really quick when this happens, right? Now, sometimes this gets really funny, And I do extract some weird sort of attention or amusement out of this, right? And I feel sadistic, right? So I can't really list specific things, but something's going on, and it's something that I see they're lying or trying to shift around blame or something like that, and I'm calling it out. I have no problem calling the shit out now, right? So then it's funny because people are standing in front of you like this with their eyes wide open. And it's just like you had reached right over and stripped them fucking naked, and they're like, Now me, in my head, I'm already standing there naked. I was just like, hey, why don't you be naked too? It's like, but that's my thing at this point, I don't call out everything, but I call out enough. And there's things, it's like recently, it's kind of hard to explain this in totality without giving out way too much information. But there was an organization that someone in my family was involved with, and this organization wanted to drag me into it. I was, no. They did not like it. They were trying like hell to get me involved. I was, no, I don't have to. Nope, not gonna do it. Because if I went in their situation, their environment, they would have had me. I was like, no, I don't have to. I don't have to, and I will not. I flat out said no. And they couldn't make me. And they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all. Not one iota. But that's too bad. They cannot like it all they want. They didn't like it because they couldn't get control over me. And they mentioned this. Like, oh, he's hard to handle. Oh, I'm not yours to handle, am I? They're almost treating me like a child, like a kid, and like, because someone else is the client, not me. Okay, but they're trying to treat me like the client, and they're treating the other client like me, right? Like they are me. That's not good. That's not good at all, because that's not even the case, But it's funny. It's incredibly difficult and tiring sometimes. But I got to the point where it was more tiring to keep my mouth shut and not say anything and see this all going around me, and people are just like, all hunky dory, everything's just fine, and I'm just like, that's not fine. That's bull crap, And that was tiring for me to ignore ignore the truth and try to just fit in. I did that for a bit, and it was so fucking tiring for me to be normal. I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't, y'all can live in your little hunky-dory world with the rose-colored glasses on, and that's fine. But most people know now. They're like, yeah, leave that guy alone for many, many reasons. Some dare. Some do, and it's really super funny because I'm just over here doing my own thing. I'm not bothering anybody, and people are saying I have mental illness, right? So what's funny is that I'm over here doing my own thing, just not bothering anybody, and other people are getting on me because I'm weird and doing my own thing. To me, that is a mental illness, right? If someone goes out of their way to bother someone else that's not bothering anybody else, that's a mental illness, man. Seriously, because I'm not bothering anybody. But it's funny they get mad because they can't be that way. They can't bare their souls. And it's funny because sometimes they try, right? It's like little kids on the playground, right? Come on, yeah, 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 yeah. And then you see them, you're like, ah, and you start chasing them, and they're running away. It's like, wait, where are you going? I thought you wanted to play. But this gets funny as an adult because as an adult, you get more control of your faculties, of course. You have more control of yourself. You don't have to listen to this crap, right? But it's funny because most of the time they're like, they don't want to bother with it because they know. So, but I got sick of it. So I said, I'm just going to just go, in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm just going to be who I am. And that's it. If they don't like it, they don't have to. Too bad, And I'm not talking about you got to call out everything. And now at one point I was getting really confrontational. I was fighting all the time because I felt like I was getting, like I had to fight back, and I did. So after a while I was like, but once I established myself, it got less and less and less. And people are just like, so they got to go try different routes and go around. And it's like, man, what is your problem? That's messed up. But this world is very difficult to live in for truth tellers and especially scapegoats because they're bullshit. But I ditched my birth family because of a lot of that. They put everything on me. I'm the asshole because I was the truth teller. It's like, oh, we don't need this shit. It's like, and why? I got thinking about this. Why? Oh. What were they hiding, right? They don't want shit. What were they hiding? I have some ideas of my own, but I finally they were hiding something. I don't know what they're hiding. It just doesn't matter at this point, but now I know. That's why people don't like truth tellers, because people are trying to hide shit. And that's the last thing someone hiding shit needs is a truth teller. Whoa. But that's too bad. If people want to live that way, if people want to live their whole lives in the dark and rose-colored glasses on and think everything's hunky-dory, that's fine. But don't do it around me.